We got all kinds of storylines around the National Football League. He has a job. Brandon Staley, fired Chargers head coach after 3 really substandard seasons, disappointing seasons, lousy playoff seasons, just hired as assistant head coach and will be a lead defensive guy, not the coordinator, but he'll be on Kyle Shanahan's staff. So we'll see if he is flexible. We will see if he changes everything that he refused to change with the Chargers. Because as he left, there was an undercurrent of comment that he was totally inflexible in terms of X's, O's, the use of players, etc. So we'll see if he's a different guy. He interviewed a lot of places and he got hired. He's the last big name that finally got hired. He goes to San Francisco. The clock is ticking. We're waiting on Russell Wilson. It appears that he is going to be bought out. He is going to kill the Broncos. They're going to take a $45 million cap hit. His contract this year is $39.7 million. It's obvious Sean Payton, with a statement Payton made last week that we have to get the next decision on the next quarterback right. That means Russell Wilson's going to exit. He confirmed this weekend he refused to change any of the language. They approached him again in the contract about injury guarantees. He said, no, the contract is the contract. It looks as if Kirk Cousins is gone from Minnesota. This guy could make $42 million this year. He's made mega money, and the Vikings have enormous problems. They got to re-sign Justin Jefferson. They got to re-sign Danielle Hunter, their top pass rusher. Cousins may be exiting, maybe going to Atlanta, maybe going to the Washington Commanders. We're also waiting on Justin Fields. Bears are shopping him hard. We hear there's now 4 teams that might trade for Justin Fields. The latest one to jump in would be the Raiders, and the Pittsburgh Steelers are both rumored this weekend to having had talks at the Combine with Atlanta. This historically might be the worst contract the Chargers ever gave out. This J.C. Jackson situation, the Patriots just released him. The Chargers gave him $82 million package on a 5-year deal. He got $31 million of it for 9 games. And he had a bad injury, and then he got removed from the roster, and then he got traded to the Patriots. Patriots didn't take on any guaranteed money. They played him. They benched him at the end of the season. Belichick had enough. This guy there's some mental health issues going on with him. J.C. Jackson is gone. The Chargers, get this, in addition to having paid him $31 million for 9 freaking games, Chargers take a $20 million cap hit because New England has released him. And the Chargers have big salary cap problems, and now you take that 20 on top of the 25 that they're over the cap. And so they've got big issues, and there are going to be some bodies on the street corner probably within a week that the Chargers just have to let go because they can't keep them all. So, Coach Kentera, you got opinions? Yeah, no, you don't have any opinions. You got opinions. Talk about what's in the NFL notebook.
Well, Brandon Staley, I'm going to have to talk with John Lynch when I get an opportunity and find out what he saw in Brandon Staley, because I'll be honest with you, I saw nothing from him when he was with the Chargers, the head coach.
Square peg, round hole.
Well, not the other thing, Lee, and, I think he might fall into this. I don't know. Maybe he'll get another opportunity like Josh McDaniels did, and that didn't go real well over there with the Raiders. But, Brandon Staley might be a good defensive coordinator, okay? He certainly wasn't a very good head coach. I think that was proven out, and I'm really kind of surprised the 49ers hired him. Now, as far as Russell Wilson, I thought Russell Wilson actually played pretty well last year. Was he the same Russell Wilson he was in Seattle? No, but I thought as the season went on, he got a little more accustomed with what Peyton was trying to do. I think Peyton was more of a problem last year, to be honest with you, than Russell Wilson.
He had a lot to fix.
Yeah, he had a lot to fix, but I also think he came in maybe not with the greatest of attitudes. There's been times when I thought he was maybe a little bit overrated as a head coach, but, Russell Wilson, he could play a few more years, I would think, whether it's in Denver or somewhere else. Somebody will bring him on.
Well, when he gets released, Denver has to pay the whole contract.
Right.
NFL team will sign him to a veteran's minimum. So somebody's going to get a bargain on a 1 or 2 year rental. And he had 24 touchdowns, I think 7 picks last year in a bad situation with all the injuries around him. So I still think he's got gas left in the tank.
As far as Kirk Cousins, got hurt there at the end of the year for the Vikings. I think Kevin O'Connell was very happy with him while he was there. You mentioned Atlanta. I think that's a possibility. I've even heard if Justin Fields got traded, maybe the Bears would go after Kirk Cousins. I don't know. As far as Justin Fields, Lee, I was not a fan of his coming out of Ohio State. But I've watched him play, and I thought at times last year he played pretty well.
Last year he played pretty
I think
well.
the biggest problem with the Bears, every year he's got a new offensive coordinator. I think he's been there 3 years. He's had 3 different offensive coordinators. Plus, they have nobody. They got one receiver around him.
DJ Moore.
Yeah, get him a little help, and that guy might be pretty good. I mean, you could bring Caleb Williams in there, and he's going to be a talented guy. I know there's some people who don't like Caleb Williams. I do. But again, you're still going through the learning curve, and I think Justin Fields is more than suitable if you get him a little bit of help. And as far as J.C. Jackson, wow, that's a tough one there. I mean, Chargers, that's not the first bad contract they've signed. We know that. But at the end of the day, I mean, a guy that just really pretty much self-destructed. And you brought up the mental health issues, and I buy into that.
So lots to talk about. You're an NFL fan. I think there's a few of them out there. Join us on Fans Forum. Get into the chat box. Let's